Oh no. Oh.
The opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences. The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Team Shit Show 2.0. And tonight, my guests are Vinny and Texas Red, and they're going to talk to us about some great things that are going on right now that they're trying to work on for veterans and for children. But I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you all about it. So, Vince, go ahead, introduce yourself.
How you doing? I'm Vince Sabin. We're working with Veterans Transport Association, the Veterans Chapel Corps, and Veterans First. Right now, our big mission is that we're working on is the disaster relief for the southeast, and all the damage that's been done in Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, South Carolina, and a small part of Virginia.
Wow, that's a lot of area.
Yes, it is. We're doing it's been quite the undertaking.
Well, as many hands as we can get is what we need, right? It's never too many. But I wanted to introduce Texas Red. Thank you for joining me tonight to talk about this issue. And hopefully we can get you a few extra people on board to help out.
Well, thank you, ma'am. Yeah, this is a important project to my heart. We got people suffering, and we've got a failed system that didn't get in there in time. So, I mean, people, we the people pick up the slack. That's what we do, right? This is America.
Yes, sir, it is. And I'm proud. I'm still proud to be an American. Even though I'm not proud of my government right now, I'm still proud of the American people. Just to see how many people who just left their homes and went and got, everything they could think of: water, chainsaws, food, first aid kits, a helicopter. People that could afford helicopters, I guess, went in there with everything they had and just started helping people, without being asked or anything. They just did it. That's America. You know what I mean? That's
Yes,
the
ma'am.
people I love. That's the country I love. It's those people, and I'm proud to be an American because of that. And they prove us right over and over again how much pride people have in our country and to help their neighbors. So I think it's great. So go ahead. Which one of you want to start telling us a little bit about your organizations that you're working for?
Well, I'll
I'm gonna
tell
let
you.
Vinny.
Okay.
Thanks, Red.
It's okay.
The
Do you want me to pull up the website or do
no,
you want to wait?
not. We can wait a minute.
Okay.
Basically, when the storms hit, uh, we started networking, and we've put
Mhm.
together an amazing group of people, an amazing amount of Christian patriots, and the whole thing has come together in an amazing way. If God's not behind it, I don't know who is. Um, We have search and rescue teams that we're in contact with that we're setting up helo drops, plane drops that are moving freight and getting it into the smaller airports where it can be distributed.
Mhm.
Now we're setting up with Florida, and we have an amazing group of people that are working on it. And we tonight I found out that we have a big church in Tampa, and we
Mhm.
have a couple in Tallahassee who have donated 88 acres of land to that we can distribute out of and run things down. We've taken into consideration some concerns with the truck drivers. You get a semi truck that runs down into Florida, and it's really hard for them to get a load back out. So we've set up a location in Tallahassee where they can drop their load, and then we'll run it down in smaller trucks, still semi trucks, but trucks that will just run down into Florida back and forth. And that way, the drivers that are coming in from around the country with loads,
Mhm.
it'll be easier for them to get what we call a backhaul, another load to get them back out of that area, so they can make money, and not get stuck in Florida and say, oh no, I can't get a load, and they're not making any money getting back out of there. So
That's a
that's why,
great idea. I
yeah,
never would have thought of something like that, but that is really good. That's more incentive too for someone to want to help a little bit if they know that somehow they're going to make a little bit of money, you know, for the wear and tear on their vehicle and the time that they spent. Even though they're doing something good, they're also getting a little bit of benefit from it. I think that's really good.
well, we're also covering the fuel. So if someone is,
Hmm.
say we got a load in Columbus, Ohio, and we got a driver that's willing to take it down, we cover the fuel, and uh, we're working on building our donor box. I mean, we're getting there, but so that way we can also compensate them for their time, and they're driving their rig, and it costs to run a rig if you get a breakdown or anything else like
Hmm.
that. So
Yeah.
we're not asking people to do it for free. It, I tell you, I love the driver that says, "Hey, give me the fuel and I'm going to run it."
Yeah.
We love those guys. But
Hmm.
not everybody, especially with the way the economy is, um, can afford to do that. They still got to feed their families. So we're trying to make it so that we're able to cover their fuel, and maybe we're not going to be able to give them, the top rates, but at least they're getting money in their pocket for doing the run.
Hmm.
So that's the big thing. We have, if you want to bring it up, the donation site for fuel for the trucks.
Okay.
And a lot of, back when we did like Hagerstown, people were able to do, um, they were able to put in fuel cards and things like that. Um, in this instance, it's entirely different because I may get a truck out of, like I said, out of Columbus, Ohio, where I'm never going to see that driver. So I won't
Hmm.
be able to hand that driver a fuel card or a gift card and say thank you. So the way we have it set up is we take care of their fuel through an app that we're working with, that so when they go to fuel, they just call our fuel line, and they're given the code to get their fuel. Because like I said, I may never see that driver, so I may
Hmm.
never be, we wouldn't be able to hand them a gift card. So that's one thing I'd like to ask, if anybody wants to donate for the fuel, that is a big thing, because it's not only the fuel, but it's also something back to the driver for running the load.
Hmm.
But the gift cards aren't going to work this time. We need you to go online to the donation site you're looking at right there.
Yeah,
And
I also shared the link to this website in the chat. So even when this is recorded and later on, other people can come to the thing once you share it and get it out. People can look into the chat and get it right off of that too.
right, there's two sides to this coin.
Mhm.
And the one is, yeah, we need you to go to your local donation site where you can donate the clothing, the baby wipes, with the uh,
Mhm.
all the things these people are going to need. I mean, we're looking for things from generators to chainsaws to, like I said, baby wipes, diapers, canned goods. Right now, everything's got to be, oh, what's the word? I've said it so many times. Um, it's all got to be dry goods.
Yeah.
So
Nothing cold.
Perishables.
Nothing. Yeah.
right,
Nothing
right.
cold or something like fruits and
We don't,
vegetables, things
right.
like that.
Or
Yeah.
We need all non-perishable, is that's the word I was stuck it out of my head. But we
Yeah.
need
I'm
all
sharing right now.
non-perishable.
This is the list. It's, if you go to the bottom of the website, it shows you everything the supplies needed right here. And it tells you the medical stuff, supplies and meds and scrubs. Those things are the urgent they're asking,
Correct.
and everything else is listed down of things that they're looking for. Yeah, because remember at the very bottom down here it says dog and cat food. People don't think about the pets of these people, but they don't want to their animals, to be hungry either. So if you can throw in a small bag of cat food or dog food, that would really make a big difference
Right. We're
for these
also
families.
dealing with a guy who has set up a site called Ranches for Hope, and
Hmm.
that is mainly for like livestock fencing that went down. They got to refence their cattle, getting hay down there. So that's another side that we're working with. But as far as our side is like a two-sided coin. If you can
Hmm.
donate things on this list and get them to a drop site, then yes, that's a beautiful thing. We're getting them to the people. But the other side of the coin is we have to fuel the trucks. We have to take care of the drivers. We have to do that. And that's
Hmm.
where the donation box comes in. And I apologize that we can't, because I've had people say, hey, I want to send a gift card, or I want to send it's not going to help us. We're going to end up with a stack of them and not know what to do with them, because they're not going to
Hmm.
go where they need to go. And the fuel needs to go to the driver. All the donations are being put through our 501c3, which is
Hmm.
O on you O6Y, OY6,
Yep.
and also through the other location would be the Virginia Christian Alliance, and
Uh-huh.
their base, the Virginia Christian Alliance is handling all the donations. So they're the ones that making sure that the trucks get, so everything is on the up and up and can be researched. And there's been problems with donation things in the past. So
oh,
Uh-oh, he dropped. It's all right. I'll bring him right back in. It's okay. Welcome back. It's all right.
did I
But
disappear?
it's okay. That happens sometimes.
Okay.
But
Um,
yeah, you were talking.
we're,
Go ahead and finish what you were speaking about.
yeah, we're trying to keep it entirely transparent so that everybody knows where their money going is going to what we're working on. It is going to the disaster relief. It's just going in a way to transport that disaster relief and make sure that we have the trucks that can do it. So I guess that's a lot in a nutshell. I'll let
Uh-huh.
you take it from there, Red.
So, what are you guys doing? I've heard you speak many times in Spaces. So, why don't you talk about a little bit about that, about what you're doing on Spaces and online, way your way of doing that, and anything else that you want to talk about, how you are trying to be active in this and get this out.
well, you and me, we've been in plenty of spaces together, and we've talked
Hmm.
a few times. I've been an activist, and I've been actually boots on the ground, probably very heavily since a friend of mine came to me with Tobe, and that was a friend. His name's Mark Anthony, and he told me about that. And then I met Robert A.G. Well, then through Robert A.G. and the convoy, I met Vinny here, and
Hmm.
just from there. And all I've been trying to do is share truth, raise awareness, unite people, um, for the sake of America, because we got to get rid of all this diversity and division and all that in our country. And the humanitarian side, and I've been very involved in raising awareness with the trafficking issue, because I do live down here in southern Texas. I've been here since 1998, and the stories you hear from these ranchers, because I work on a lot of ranches around the area, and the stories you hear from the ranchers, and then from what you see on the borders, and especially in some of these back communities of the illegals just freely walking through our country.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Tobe was very important to me. And this is very, very important to me, because it's all about the humanitarian issue and helping people.
Mm-hmm.
And these people have had a very rough time. A lot of them had everything taken from them. So,
Yeah.
and our government just is doing the normal thing, sticking their finger at the American people, especially the rural areas. And here we are.
The sad thing is the government has so much red tape in everything. I mean, there's so many tentacles.
Yes,
You got this, you got to go. You're in the military and you got 3 kids. Okay, you go to get an ID for your kids, and you got to go to 6 different offices with your kids to get the stuff you need, just so you can get your picture taken and put on an ID. They make it so complicated, every little detail, that just to let the people go in, take care of the people, get them out, get them to safety. And then once everything's cleaned up and they're safe, and then they found everyone, then they can start going, okay, we know these are the people, and we'll talk to them. We'll figure things out about, how they're going to get their homes rebuilt, and who flew this and who did that to get them out. All that stuff is they make it complicated. And that's the problem, that when it takes seconds, seconds are ticking away. Someone's running out of oxygen. They don't have any more blood pressure medicine because it went down the mountain. You don't know. You just don't know what's going on, because you're not talking to the people. You're just listening to each other in an office, and you don't know anything that's going on. I've showed so many videos showing chickens on roofs, dogs on roofs, dogs on a leash swimming, because the family's gone. There's nobody there, and they don't know where the people are. And then you've got kids still one place and the parents someplace else. That's all chaos, and all they want is to find their families. And that should be the number one priority, is getting to the people, getting them to safety. And by having these truckers be able to put fuel in their trucks to be able to bring the supplies, to keep the helicopters going, the trucks going, the chainsaws going, the food chain going, to get the people blankets and warm clothes, because they've lost their shoes. They don't have anything. People are having a hard time understanding. They lost every single thing. All their photo albums, everything they had in their home is gone, because the whole home is gone. It's just
Exactly.
dust.
You want to bring the government in on this conversation. Here we go.
Yeah.
FEMA is a joke, okay? They have confiscated truckloads of stuff. Where it's going, we don't know. They offered every people $750 for their loss.
Per family, not per person.
Per family. Yeah. It's a joke. The governments, they sit back and they say, we want unity, and we want unity. Well, I'll tell you what. It's sad that something like this has to happen. But in what has happened, some of the people that Red just talked about, Robert Agee, Mark, Doc Chambers,
yes, sir,
Craig Hutchins, Josh Messiah, all these people are Christian people. And it's sad that a disaster like this has to bring unity. And the unity that is coming is when we bring something to your door, or these donations down, we don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat,
Hmm.
or what you are. You're a human. And it's all about helping each other. And it's unfortunate that this is what it's taking to bring us together. And they're still doing things. I mean, they had Hawk helicopters fly over donation zones the other day,
Hmm.
so low to blow the distribution center apart
Hmm.
with the downdraft off it.
Yep.
Um,
I saw a
they,
couple of those videos.
there's some of the things they're doing is to interrupt the election that's coming, because hey, if we keep these people disorganized, they're not going to be able to vote,
Hmm.
and so that puts more in our pocket. This area that might have been Donald Trump, now they can't vote, so he doesn't get those electoral votes. They're going to do anything to win the election. Um, I, in my opinion, if the Democrats take over again, we are done. Done.
Yep.
Maybe not everybody likes Donald Trump, to be honest with you. Sometimes I don't like his attitude myself. But the things the guy did for our country back then, we were better off.
Hmm.
And most people know it. And like I said, it's really sad that we can have our government, try to put a wedge in between us because we're black or white.
Hmm.
But if you go to the streets and you go out and you talk to people, and I'm a truck driver, and I meet people every day, and we're not like that. The American people are not like that.
Hmm.
They want to play the race card, and we're really not as racist as they want us to believe we are, because we're not. You
I don't
know,
think we are either.
we
I grew up
we
on Air Force bases, and
we all
we had
think the same
everybody.
way.
Yeah, everybody was there. We all went to school. Nobody thought about anything if you were a different race. I mean, nobody
No,
thought about it. It was,
no,
what
and
housing area do you live in? That kind of thing. Yeah, that's all. It was just, it depended on your parents' rank. You know what I mean?
yeah,
If
and when you
your
see these,
family was rich or poor, depending on
it,
whether you lived on the base or off the base. That's the kind of stuff that I grew up with. I
yeah,
never knew anything really about racism until after I got out of high school, and that's when I
and
started seeing. I was like, What's going on? What does this mean?"
right,
So basically, I was blinded by it. Our
this
government.
like these disasters like this.
Hmm.
Neighbors are helping neighbors. Nobody's looking at, hey, oh, you're from, I don't know, you're from Mexico. You're a black American. I'm a white. Nobody's looking at that. We're looking at each other. Hey, we're humans. We need to help each other, and we need
Yep.
to put this together. And we're uniting, and people are coming together from all walks of life, and all youth. I hate that word, so I'm not going to use it. Authenticities. Um,
Uh-huh.
so the government wants us separated. They want to divide us. They want to keep us
Yep.
apart so they can control us. And this isn't that. And
Mhm.
we got to stand up. We got to unite. We got to help each other. We got to stand with each other. Um,
I
every
wanted to
one of
ask
us.
you about this other website, the Chaplain Corps. Could one of you tell us about that group or this group?
The Veterans
Um,
Chaplain Corps.
Hmm.
Go ahead, Red.
no, I was gonna say Vinny is actually friends with some of these guys. So again,
Okay,
Vinny, take it
that's
away.
fine. As long as, because if I'm going to talk about it, I want these people to be able to understand who they're helping. See what I mean?
All
And
right.
what
Yes,
they're
ma'am.
what they're helping.
The Veterans Chaplains Corps and Veterans First work together, uh, building housing and helping homeless vets and their family.
Hmm.
They've put together different. They just renovated a motel complex or something down in the Miami area,
Okay.
which is all set up for the homeless vets to get them off the street and to
Hmm.
work with them. Um, so we do work with they do work with civilians also, but they are pretty much set up to help the homeless veteran or help any veteran that needs assistance that they can step in and help with. If their families um, need housing or something to get them back on their feet, and to help them with PTSD or anything else like that. They provide counseling. They do all that to take care of the veterans. And now we're under the umbrella with them.
Mhm.
So, if someone needs counseling or something like that, then we have the chaplains corps that can come and give counseling to them and try and help. So that's the whole mental effect of the devastation and losing loved ones in storms like this. We
Mhm.
also have that way with the veterans chaplain corps to provide that assistance also.
Yeah,
So
I was looking through this website, and at the very bottom it says, "We encourage you to visit to subscribe to our newsletters to stay updated on the upcoming events and join us in supporting our veterans and first responders in their journey towards healing and well-being. Your participation and support is invaluable to us." So anyone that is watching this video, I am sharing the links in the chat. So you would be able to go there, fill it out, get the newsletter yourself, and then you get the information directly to you, and you can read it at your leisure and, support whatever you can, and share it with other people. We'd really appreciate that, because word of mouth is very important. A lot of people think, oh, if you don't see it on TV, or if you don't see it on Facebook or something, then nobody's interested. But that's not true. There's a lot of people that are not watching TV 24/7, and there's a lot of people that aren't on their phone all the time. They have jobs and they're working, and when they are off, they like getting a text from their friend or a phone call. That's what they enjoy. A lot of people do enjoy that. So send them anything that you feel that they might be interested in just finding out about, because that one person might make a world of difference for another person. So you just don't know until you share it out. So we should all share as much as we can, especially if you can't get up and go do something, out of your house, hands-on, to volunteer or whatever at a veteran center or anything to help some of these people that have been displaced. At least you can do is share the information at your church or at your bowling league or any group that you're in, just to try to see if we can get more people interested to help out. You never know what you can do. Sorry, I wanted to add that.
Thank
But
you.
yeah, I think it's awesome.
yeah, I really appreciate what you're doing in helping us to get the word out. Um, it's greatly appreciated in every aspect. We are trying to flood social media, and we have some people that are just sharing on Facebook and TikTok and X, and there's another one out there, I can't think of it, but we've got flyers going everywhere, and
Mhm.
it's starting to go viral. It's starting to starting to snowball a little bit. So we're starting to get the help we need. I can't ask anybody to help. Don't help any more than you can. If you say I want to donate money and you can only donate $5 or $2,
Mhm.
it will all help in fueling these trucks and getting the supplies to the people that desperately need it, and the help that they need. Like I said, we are working with search and rescue teams, and the, the and the EMTs that are going in there, the first responders that are going on there, and it's
Mhm.
everything goes to help them. I mean, someone's well, the disaster relief is for the people that have lost everything, all the food and everything. Well, at the same time, those first responders that are sitting out there in the mud, they need a cold bottle of water. They need a sandwich to keep them going.
Mhm.
So, it's it's a vast thing of everything that comes together to make it all work.
And also, a lot of people don't realize, okay, you need fuel for the trucks to get the supplies to the places that need to get picked up and then taken to wherever they're going to be distributed. Plus, you need fuel for the helicopters. You need fuel for the chainsaws, the generators that they're running. All that stuff takes fuel, and people, sometimes need to be reminded about all the different things that all take fuel that need to be used to light up the donation centers if there's no power, if they have tents or awnings up or whatever, and just tables to pass out bottles of water and snacks and food to keep the people back and forth that are doing all the running. That needs power and that needs fuel. So there's a lot of lots and lots of fuel. So I think this whole thing is really, really, really ingenious. And I hope you guys get just a buku of people that are willing to help you guys keep up with the fuel costs, because I know it's very expensive, especially right now with the administration that we have that hasn't, has cut back on drilling and, pipelines and all this stuff. It makes it more expensive. And simply because of that, a lot of people are having to, do without a lot of other things because they have to have gas to get to work, or, other things like that. But anything that you guys can scrape together to help out with any of these organizations, either one of them, to help send a few dollars, it's going to go a long way, because this is for people that are selfless, that already sacrificed for our country, and now they're working hard to try to help people that are in need right now, that aren't in the military. They're just doing it because they're good Americans and they're good patriots, and they're Christians. Basically, they believe in something bigger than themselves, and I think that's important. And I wish more people would, stop and pay attention, read, find out what they're talking about, what's going on, and see how they can help, instead of just standing there and then saying, well, there's nothing I can do, and leave, because they don't even take time to find out anything. So I see that a lot. So, or they just want to make a video and put it on, get home as fast as they can to post it on, whatever, Snapchat or whatever it is that they're on. And then that's it. That's all they do. But if they have links in those things, I've seen some really good TikToks, some really good Instagrams, a whole bunches of really good stuff. But I've also seen a lot of crap, that all they do is complain. They don't say anything about how we can do anything to help. There's no link or anything in there to tell you, get a hold of these people and make a difference, that kind of stuff. To me, that it all it does is frustrate people, because people see the bad things happening to the animals, the people. They don't understand a lot that's happened and how bad the devastation is. They see a couple of broken houses or whatever, and they're like, that's not bad. And but another thing they don't realize is that you see the videos of the water rushing past, but once the water goes away, you have debris. There's no water anymore, but everything's water damage, which means mold, mildew, who knows what is washed into all these neighborhoods, tore up the roads. There's no way to get in and out. There, people just don't understand what that's like, because they've never had to live through it themselves. And this is a place that in North Carolina, one area outside of Asheville, is a place, Chimney Rock. All those places aren't used to getting floods. Like Tampa, they did pretty good. Most people that I have relatives down in Miami and stuff, and the storm wasn't as bad as they thought it would be. But most of these people, they have shutters, they have their homes built up off the ground. They have a lot of, the system is set up differently for flooding, okay, because of where it is. When you're in the mountains, you don't think about mudslides and flooding. I mean, it's just not something that you put on your insurance. It's like a once in a 1,000-year type of thing. I just don't think, I've never heard of anything like this happening in my lifetime in the mountains.
Asheville had a 24-foot flood line for maximum flood. The waters reached 34 feet, 10 feet over maximum. You mentioned Chimney Rock. Chimney Rock's gone.
I know.
FEMA had a civic meeting a few days back. I can't say exactly when, stating that they were just going to bulldoze it over and that they were stopping search and rescue there. So any bodies that were under the mud weren't going to get found. Mm-hmm. There's people fighting that. I want to step back a little bit, what you said about the gas. We got word today that 30% of the gas the gas stations in Southwest Florida are out of fuel, out of gas.
Yep.
So we are part of the fuel drive is to get gasoline down there for the generators and the things and the cars that people are going to
Hmm.
need. So, yep, we're taking care of the drivers with fuel, but we got to spread it out a little bit, and gasoline and fuel is a supply that's going to be needed down there. So we are working on the and have had discussions about tanker trucks and things like that.
Hmm.
So we're trying to be just diverse and help in so many ways and in so many directions. Sleep has been a rarity for me for the past couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, and at the same time that I'm doing what we're doing, I'm doing it from the seat of a semi truck, and I'm traveling all day, every day. I was in California 2 days ago, or 3 days ago, and I just left Virginia, and I'm on my way to Indiana, and I'm on my way to Chicago, and I roll the truck I'm in rolls down the road 24 hours a day. My
Hmm.
nephew and I are team driving, so when I'm not driving, he's driving. When he's not driving, I'm driving, and so I try to sleep in the middle, and I try to do what we got going on, work with all this that we have going on with the disaster relief, and I sit behind the wheel of the truck, and Red can testify to you. He's called me, and I'm like, okay, Red, okay, I got another call, and I hang up.
Yes, ma'am.
And he'll call me again, and hey, I got this to go over with you, and I'm like, I got to get another call. I got to go up, hang up. Today alone, I can't tell you how many conference calls I've been on. I was on a Zoom meeting just before this. I actually stepped out of that Zoom meeting to do this.
Oh.
And I probably ignored 4 or 5 text messages while we're in this.
Hmm.
So it's been amazing, and I would really love to give you a little bit more time. And I want to thank you for all the message you're putting out. But due to what
You're
I have
welcome.
going on, I do need to step off at this point and answer some of this stuff because we've got
Okay,
a
I
lot of
thank
things
you
going
so
on.
much for joining me tonight and sharing this. And I hope that we can just get a few more people in line to help with the fuel and with the veterans. The chaplains organization. I think that's selfless of you guys. And I'm so proud of our veterans, anyways, and I'm proud of our country, and I'm proud of the people that are stepping up that don't have to. They're not, they weren't hurt, and but the thing is, if we expect anyone to care about us, we also have to be willing to sacrifice for someone else if we want someone to do that for us one day if something ever happens to our lives or our families.
We're
So
all
thank you so.
Americans. We're all
Yes,
Americans, and we got to love thy neighbor.
that's right.
And with the strength of God and the unity of the people that we can pull together, we can do anything, and we can save this country, and we can save these people. We can help these people with everything they need. And with that being said, God bless you all. Thank you, and I need to go.
Okay, good
Thank,
night, and God
thank
bless
you, Vinny.
America.
God bless America. Good
That's
night.
right. Thank you so much. He's awesome. Thank
Yes,
you
ma'am.
for thank
He's
you
the
for
one who
inviting
started
him.
this. He's the
Yeah.
one who started this, and then he called me up. I mean, like I said, we met during the convoy. We've had some moments during the convoy. That was a beautiful thing, to be honest with you. And I believe we raised some awareness when we did it. And then, you know, when you're in that kind of environment filled with love, and then it was like, we just connected, and then time fell apart, and then he calls me up out of the blue, say, "Hey, Red, can you help me with this?" I'm like, "Yeah, bro, you got it." And here we are, and we're going to continue this until it's all said and done. And from what we understand, we don't know how long this is going to be, because it ain't only just these 4 states plus Florida and West
Mhm.
Virginia. We got another hurricane coming, and what the
Yep.
heck?
I know.
I
It's
mean,
like 1, 2, 3, and then there was a bunch of tornadoes also. I heard
yeah,
like
that was very
8 or 9
bizarre.
tornadoes last night.
Yeah, it was.
So
That was
yeah,
pretty weird. I've never seen a hurricane have the front half of it bust off and do that. Like, because I was
hmm
watching it, and the
yeah,
front
I was
half of that
too.
hurricane busted off and went into Florida first, and just spewed a bunch of tornadoes. That was great, wild. Yeah.
Yeah, it was all crazy. But see, that's the one thing. It's weather is always unpredictable. You know,
Yes, ma'am.
everybody, the weatherman. That's what cracks me up. Those I don't even listen to the weatherman. You know, I just look at my phone and see what the temperature is and try to dress accordingly. And I carry an umbrella in my truck because, you know, just because they say it's going to be sunny, I've seen it rain on days that they said it was going to be nice out. So, you know, I just don't trust them because it's impossible for anyone to know everything about the weather. It's
Yeah,
it's
me,
just
me and
we're
Vinny were.
spinning around and we don't know what's going on for sure. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and Vinny were actually talking, and it's like, how long are we gonna be doing this disaster relief through Christmas? And he's like, yeah, probably, maybe even longer. It depends. So, because
Yeah, I don't see half of those people that lost everything when it went down the mountain having their homes back by December. I just,
and
I
just
mean,
for a little,
if we had the Amish running everything, we probably could because I've seen them build a barn and move it in one day. You know, the whole
yes,
thing,
ma'am.
huge ones. So I wish we had something more like that, that type of society or whatever. But you know, we just have to take what we can get. But the thing is that people are willing to give a little, you know, to help someone else. I've seen it over and over
Yes,
again. So I know
yeah.
it's
I tell
just
you what, with this group of people I've been working with, if these people had FEMA funding, I guarantee you they could do 500 times better than FEMA.
I think they do.
They are moving that fast.
Yeah, I
Um,
really think that this new administration, if we get it, like I'm hoping, it's going to make a lot of changes in a lot of different things. And he's got
I
people lining up that want to have a seat at the table to help make changes. And I hope he does it. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I hope he gets them people. I'm not one of those people that are going to go out there looking for that. I'm going to be one of these people that are going to go out there and actually do it and try and get it done.
But see,
And
we need all of that. We need people that want to do the computer work. We need people that want to
yep,
do the hands-on work. We need people that are going to do the volunteering. We need people that want to run the administration parts of it. I mean, that's a bunch of people. It takes a
yes,
lot of
ma'am.
people to have a good organization. Just like anything that you have to have somebody in charge that understands how it all works together, and then you have to send it down, you know, to all the little branches that come down, and that's how it works. As long as everybody does what they said they were going to do, it'll be successful. It's when you have one or two people that just drop out, and then someone's got to do the extra work to make up for the people that decided not to do it, and that's when you start having the problems. You know.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah. And then also, we've been getting a really good feedback on X because, as you
Mhm.
know, I've been on there pushing this and trying to get the donations up. So,
Uh-huh.
'cause myself, I've got a load sitting here in San Antonio. It's medical supplies and blankets. It's about half a load, and then we've got 2 donation areas also to pick up from. So I'm going to be out there 24/7 here starting soon, and
Great. Well, yeah, it makes
it's
me feel
just
better to know that there's more people like you and some of the really good people that I've seen say, you know, have their interview about what they've been doing and how they've been helping with their very own helicopter they already had and
yes,
taking water and food or generators in and picking people up and bringing them out. Because I also heard from someone that lives in North Carolina that said that there's a factory there that makes all the IV bags, you know, for the
mm,
hospitals and stuff, and that it was taken out. So that's going
yeah,
to make it harder and harder until they can get that fixed and up and running again to be able for people to get IV bags, so they're limiting how many they're given to each of the hospitals and things like that now. So, people, it's just going to take us a while to weed out all the fake stuff and push the real, I'm very picky about not wanting to promote somebody's link just because they said so, so unless I get to talk to them and stuff and feel comfortable with them, I don't like sharing their information because I might be sharing the wrong stuff. I might be sharing some totally bogus something that's not real, and I don't want to do that. That's why I always try to tend to lean towards the veterans because I'm an Air Force brat,
Yes,
and I trust veterans. Okay, so I'm a little biased about that, but I can help it. As we've been proven that the people in charge right now aren't doing a very good job with their money. So why would I want to give them more of it? You know what I mean? I'd rather give it to you guys. At least I trust you guys. So
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate that. And believe me, we're a bunch of penny pinchers, so there's no wasteful spending either.
Yeah, so. I know. My dad was one of them. So yeah, he was a very penny pincher. But you have to be when you live. You learn to live on a military budget, which isn't a lot. A lot of people seem to act like because you live on a military base or whatever, you got more money. And I was like, well, they take it out of your check because you live on the base too. It doesn't just, you're just not free housing. Like, a lot of people think because they live in this government housing, that's how it is for the Air Force. I'm like, no, not that I know of. But because, unless you live in the barracks, I don't even know if they even take that out of your check too if you live on the barracks. I think they do. Room and board or whatever.
That part I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't in the service. My dad was, but that's the way it is. But yeah, I think this is wonderful. I thought when I heard about the whole thing about the fuel, because a lot of people just don't understand the breakdown of, how the food chain, basically how everything works. You have to have people bringing this stuff, and how are you going to get the stuff there?
Well, if this helps out, one fill up for a semi truck, depending on what state you're in, could go anywhere from $650 to $800.
I know.
And that's outrageous. One fill up, and that's about 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's an unfortunate necessity, and to be honest, we don't like coming out here and having to ask for money. But this is a complete grassroots movement, and this is we the people taking care of we the people, and this is how I think our founding fathers actually intended it to be. And unfortunately, we sat back and let our government take too much power, and now we're over-regulated to the point of if there's an emergency, you have to go through so much red tape. I mean, FEMA can't even get funding because Congress ain't even in Washington, D.C. So,
well, honestly, if you have a balanced budget amendment, which I've heard people talk about, like we have in the state of Arkansas, okay, and we have Sarah Huckabee as governor now, and I'm telling you right now, she's awesome. I think everything she's done since she first was sworn in is for our state, and that's what we expect from a governor. So when you have people that are in charge, they're supposed to be in charge of the federal government, which means all of the states, that you think they'd set money aside, like Social Security or FEMA money or whatever it is, that's only for relief, not for willy-nilly this, that, and the other. But it seems like for some reason we can't get people in office that understand that if it was your check, if it was their bank account, their personal bank account, how would they spend the money in it? I guarantee they don't spend their personal bank account the way that they do our tax dollars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I just wish that they put that much thought into it. And there are some, because, Corey Mills, there's a few others. I can't remember all their names right this minute, but that to me seem like people that really are trying to run the country or their job, to see things being run in the country, where it's like, what the hell's going on? We need to fix this crap before it's too late, you know? And so there's a lot of people that really do believe that in the government. I really do. I don't think every single person in the government is corrupt any more than I do in my church. You know, I know that every person that goes to my church is not a perfect person. Some of them are, you know, it's using the church for the resume or whatever, because that's just the way it is. You know, when you're a sinner, you know, we all sin, we all tell fibs, we all do things we shouldn't. That's why we're supposed to ask for forgiveness every day before we go to bed. But a lot of people don't do that. You know, a lot of people just think, oh, you know, whatever, because they don't think it's ever going to happen to them. And that's why it's called an accident. That's why this is a disaster, is that nobody thought this was going to happen, but it does. And when it does, we need to have the funds ready to go right now, not in 10 days. It's too late. People have already died in 10 days. You can only go 4 days without water before you just so dehydrated your body shuts down, you know. People don't understand those things. And it's nice to have people like you that understand that we need to have trucks to bring the supplies. And the only way to do that is if we can get enough truckers to be able to afford the fuel to be able to bring the donations. Because people are wanting to give. A lot of companies, I heard that Walmart supplied 6 semis full of all kinds of items for some of the areas. So, you know, we've got lots of people that are wanting to help. It's just getting it to the people and where it belongs, you know, what town, what's, you know, depending on what state, and trying to get it spread out to where the people can actually get it, you know, and that's expensive.
And that's kind of where we're at right now, as far as in local communities. It's actually really nice things. These people are coming together and they are donating, and it's picking up. It's gradually picking up. And the problem we are having is the truck issue right now. But we've also hooked up, and I guess I could probably say it, but I hooked up with NOAA and Texas Trucker and Mike from NOAA, and they put us in this group thing to where we can talk to all their drivers and present them with what we're doing. They've offered a lot of assistance also as far as getting our word out to the truck drivers. So it's all coming together. And, you know, just like Vince said, is we're trying to get it to where we can get, because we know truckers, we know there's going to be a few out there that can come and run a load, you know, in between loads. We know some are going to need a little bit of money and probably charge us like half rate or something. So we already know, and we're trying to anticipate this and have it there, so when we need it, it is there. And that's why we're out here doing this field drive right now.
Yeah, and what's so good about it is to have truckers, actual truckers, people that live that lifestyle, that helping to make sure, hey, this is the best way. If it was me, since I'm a trucker, this is what I would do, and this is how I would run it. You know, just like what we said about Trump when we first wanted to vote for him, is that he's a businessman. Somebody needs to start running our country like a business, so we're not bankrupt all the time. You know what I mean? I mean, that's common sense. And to me, this is common sense right here. If you can get enough people to just donate enough fuel, and then have some other companies and organizations help the truckers get a load to take home, where they're actually making money on their way back from where they came to bring the supplies, I think that's genius. I mean, that's really smart. It's common sense thinking. And if more people would think that way, we'd get so many more things finished. You know what I mean?
Well,
at least that's how
could you imagine our government if they just started thinking with common sense?
Some of them do. See, that's how
some of them do. Some of them do.
But it's the ones that seem like the higher up the food chain they get, the less they give a crap or something. I don't know what it is. It's like stuff just closes once they get too high. It's like they're not getting enough oxygen or something. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't. But Trump was president and he still did it. He did almost everything on executive order because he didn't have anybody backing him. You know, he didn't have anybody saying, hey, we need to do this. He had to do it by himself. And that's why it was so easy for his first day. And Biden was in office. It was executive order. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Over and over and over. He just closed up everything, shut down the pipelines, doing whatever he wanted because
Yep.
they don't care. The comedy was great. I mean, I thought we were doing awesome, and well, hopefully
I
we can
know
rebuild.
I was doing a lot better. you
Yeah,
know,
I think
uh,
everyone was. I mean, who can afford? I can afford. I mean, a roast for 65
I
bucks.
know.
Who's going to buy a
Yeah.
roast? And that's
Well,
hurting everyone. That hurts
this is
everyone who can't eat.
this is Texas, and I'm a big brisket guy, so I
Yeah,
love barbecuing my briskets. Well, I used to do one probably once a month. Now it's probably once every 4 months is
yeah.
about the price, because yeah, the price of beef has gone everything.
Well, see,
It's
I'm
just
lucky. I was able to, when I first moved to Arkansas, I raised me some baby chicks, and now I have really nice hens and a really beautiful rooster takes good care of them, and they get to free range, and they lay more eggs than I need, and I give them. I take them to my nurse that gives me my allergy shots. I take her a dozen, or I'll take my sister. I got two sisters that live two different directions from me, but call them, say, hey, you guys need some eggs, and then they'll do something for me or whatever. But the thing is that I want to help, and since my chickens are
yeah,
happy and they're laying really good for me, why not share? I've given them to other people. Just like one day, the delivery guy dropped some boxes off, and I had some eggs, and I said, hey, do you like fresh eggs? He goes like, yeah. And I said, well, here, I'll give you a dozen. And I said, just wash them before you put them in the refrigerator, because I know that they clean the eggs before they put them in the refrigerator section, but once you wash them, you can't leave them out on the counter anymore, because they have a special coating the chicken puts on. It's natural. It's called Bloom, that keeps the egg from going bad. That's why she can sit on an egg for 20 something days and it doesn't rot. You know what I mean? So it's interesting. I've learned a lot about chickens, and I love it. I feel good about it, but everyone doesn't have that opportunity, like me, like these people, like this one gentleman I saw, that he lost everything. He lost his horses, his cows, his goats, everything, his home,
yes, ma'am.
all gone, his whole farm. It doesn't exist. They're going to have to go out with, after they clear it all out, they're going to have to go out with surveyors and find their property, because it doesn't look the same anymore. A lot of people don't realize that either. It's nothing but boulders and rocks and holes
Yeah,
in the ground. No trees. Half the trees are gone now. It's wiped out. It's barren wasteland. People saying it looks like a war zone. Well, it does. I've seen so many videos from so many people in all the areas that were hit. That's what's scary about it. It's just very gloomy to think about it, but the hands
well,
that people have been putting out to help these people has really made a difference in some of the interviews I've seen of the people that have been rescued and helped, by giving help with where they could stay until they get things fixed and things like that. They're overwhelmed. They're shocked
yeah.
anyways, because they lost everything, but they're overwhelmed with how many wonderful people have stepped up to try to help them. And that warms my heart when I hear those good stories.
Well, the sad part is, we're not being told the truth.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those people were not ready. A lot of those people didn't know it was going to be like this. What happened in North Carolina, I think, was a big shocker and a surprise to a lot of the residents in the area, including North Tennessee and that area too.
Mm-hmm.
So much water came down, and it came off that mountain so much. It pretty much did. I don't know if you remember them old-fashioned strip miners with them big water pipes shredding down a mountain.
Yeah, I
But
remember seeing some of that stuff when I was
think
in
about,
school, I think.
yeah, God had the water hose this time. Well, I don't know if it was God, to be honest with you. We'll find out, I'm sure. But yeah, that water dumped down on that mountain so hard and so fast. It was pretty much like strip mining like that, but in an instant,
Mm-hmm.
and all that just came down on top of all those people. And you've seen the videos, the walls of water coming down, mud, trees, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's strip mining, Chimney Rock especially, so
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's devastating. And when you get one video I thought was real impressive. I wish I'd pulled it up. I would have showed it, but it showed before and after, like it was like a slide, and you see the picture before, and all of a sudden the after would slide over the other one, and you could see the difference and what happened to all these different places all the way up and down the mountain. It's a lot to absorb, and I don't even know. I've never had anything like this ever happen to me. I was in a couple hurricanes when I lived in New Orleans, but I wasn't hurt, and I was living in Metairie, so we were higher up, than down in the Porter area where it was really bad because it's like a big bowl basically, and just to see some of the things that happened to us was, it was bad, but it wasn't devastation. It was like a broken this and a broken that, things like that. But completely gone stuff is it's just shocking to me. I cried a lot, when I saw some of the videos. You can't help but cry. And I didn't even see a single dead person at all, but I was still bawling just thinking about the people that were in their homes that went down the mountain with people in them. Things like that. It's just too much. It's devastating. And it's going to take a lot of praying and a lot of work to get these people back to a similar life that they had beforehand. And I hope that we can do it if we just work together,
I believe we can, and I have faith we can, and I believe we will.
I got hope.
Yes, ma'am. Shoot, it's 9:00.
I was going to say, we've done it for a little over an hour, and I've shared all the links out. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for sharing everything with me. And anything that you guys come up with that you want to just send me a DM. I'd be happy to have you on the show again to talk about.
I will keep you updated.
Okay, I really
absolutely, and I appreciate you doing this for us to help us get the word out. And every little bit helps.
Well, right now we have 35 people right now watching live right now. So on all the links in the chat and everything else, because we're on X and we're on YouTube and Rumble right now. And once this is done, it'll still be available to watch, even though it's going to be a replay. It's not going to be live, but they can still see the chat and they can still see everything that we did and the stuff that we posted and everything. So what I'll do is for the next few days, I'll just keep sharing the links, and hopefully we'll get some more people to click on there, and maybe you'll all of a sudden have a bunch more followers and people sending you DMs saying, hey, I want to help. So hopefully that means it'll work. That's what I'm hoping. I gotta say,
I actually had a lady DM me today and said, I want to fill a trailer. And I got her in contact with our donation department, and they are right now working together to get this accomplished. So
yeah, see, it will happen. It just sometimes it takes a little, put before it gets and starts purring along, But as long as we're going forward, that's good. That's how I try to look at it. We're going forward. Yeah. It may be slow, but we're going forward. So
yes, ma'am.
That way. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it.
Thank you too. And I'll see you on next, ma'am.
Yeah, you sure will, because I'm still going to be there. But I'm going to close out with my favorite video. So I hope you like it. Here we go.
Obama will go down as perhaps the worst president in the history of the United States! Exclamation point at real Donald Trump. Well, at real Donald Trump, at least I will go down as a president.
I know people have talked to you about whether or not you want to run. Would you ever?
Never got so bad, I would never want to rule it out totally.
A new world order. These allegations are false. Weapons of mass destruction. The USA Patriot Act.
The blueprint for large corporations. We once were, we are no longer a Christian nation.
Donald Trump confirmed that he is considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
I am officially running for President of the United States.
He will never be President of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected President of the United States.
And people are watching these results come in.
We are going to make this decision now. Donald Trump will be the 45th President of the United States.
Does it ever seem to you that President Trump has done more than any president in modern history?
In the 10 years I've been involved in politics, I've never seen an administration hit the ground running like this.
I could spend the rest of the hour laying out the accomplishments under the Trump presidency, despite everything thrown at him.
The market just had its 12th straight record close.
Taking action to save as many kids as they can.
We were energy independent under the Trump administration.
More Americans reported being employed than ever.
Helping those who have served our country in the military to get access to mental health care.
The Great American Outdoors Act is the largest single piece of legislation to support our national parks and public lands.
Created more than 7 million good-paying jobs.
Websites can be held liable in court for having sex trafficking content.
The Abraham Accords, which for any other president would have been multiple peace prizes.
America did not enter into a foreign war.
The employment rate in the U.S. fell to 3.5%.
The First Step Act eases federal sentencing for nonviolent offenders.
Increased funding for historically black colleges and universities.
Allows terminally ill patients easier access to experimental drugs.
Kept the inflation rate low.
Honored with the Bipartisan Justice Award.
Had a massive MS-13 gang problem.
3.9% is the unemployment rate.
Requiring airports to provide lactation rooms for breastfeeding mothers.
Middle class family income increased nearly $6,000.
A dramatic escalation in his crackdown on illegal immigration.
An advocate for educational choice.
Tariffs on Mexico and Canada.
An act preventing animal cruelty and torture.
Taking out Baghdadi, the head of ISIS, Soleimani, the Iranian general.
Save Our Seas Act commitment to environmental issues.
We're saying Merry Christmas again.
Community development in low-income urban and rural communities.
Help us to remember the importance of fighting off tyranny.
Pulling out of UNESCO, the World Health Organization, the Paris Climate Accords, reassessing NATO and the United Nations.
Stood up for Christianity and the Constitution more than any president in American modern history.
We are stopping the attacks on Judeo-Christian values. Do you miss me yet?